I am so excited to go over this video. Today, I'm going to be talking about the benefits of doing a 3-day juice cleanse. I'm currently on my 3rd day and I thought it would be great to do this video and how fasting and juice cleanses can actually help heal chronic pain, diseases, cancer, and a lot more. This has honestly been one of the best things that I've incorporated since the beginning of my healing journey, and I keep going back to it, and it just teaches me so much. And I've been able to heal endometriosis, ulcers, stomach ulcers, gastritis, candida, the list is long, and I have this access to this healing at home. So I want to share this with you to support you on healing, and maybe this is something that will be helpful for someone in your life. And I'm really excited to get into this video. So before we get into the video, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, subscribe, put notification bells, share with a friend. And if you're interested in healing with nature, plant medicines, as well as doing some one-on-one healings, you can go and check out my link tree down below. I started this cleanse, I literally woke up, it was on a Thursday morning, and it's interesting. Thursday morning, I was like, this is really interesting. I feel called to do a cleanse. And I know what a lot of people ask is like, how do I know if I feel called to do a cleanse or if I should do a cleanse? And one of the biggest things for me was that I noticed that I had a lot of brain fog. I was craving a lot of foods more than usual. And I'll go into that in a second as to what that means and how that relates to fasting. And I also noticed that I was just like really not in my body. My nervous system wasn't regulated. I was getting a lot of bloating in the body, especially in my solar plexus and my stomach area and in my ankles as well. So this was telling me that my body, my system wasn't really flowing as it should be. And this is what brought me to be inspired to share this information, this video for you, and what I've been doing for I think 8-9 years. I've been doing fasting and juice cleanses. So the first thing I want to share is that what exactly is a fast? What exactly is a juice cleanse? So a juice cleanse is when you do not eat any food, you are just having juice. Now everyone alters theirs. Sometimes you are allowed to have tea. People allow themselves to have tea. They allow themselves to have water. Of course, you want to make sure you're hydrated. But during this period of time is really a space to give your digestive system a rest. And one of the biggest things I like to share with people is that if you think about our ancestors, they would hunt, they would get food and work with the seasons, right? Work with nature. And we wouldn't constantly always have 3 meals a day. We wouldn't constantly always be snacking throughout the day. We were really just allowing ourselves to have periods of time where our digestive system was resting. And I think today where we can just walk into a grocery store or order Uber Eats, you know, we've all done that. And it's so easy to just get food. We kind of, in a way, don't really notice what we're putting in. We're not intentional with what we're putting in. And we get into these loops and these habits where we feel diseases come up or inflammation, health issues. And it's very important to allow ourselves to get that rest. So I wrote down why you might be inspired. What are the benefits of a juice cleanse? And I'm going to go over them and just go deep with you into what I felt supported me, and maybe it will inspire you. So the first thing is to reduce inflammation. So one of the biggest things, how I got into juice cleansing, is I started my healing journey being diagnosed with endometriosis. And it was very painful, whether I was on my bleed, my moon cycle or not. I had a lot of chronic pain all over my spine. I had insomnia, PTSD, and then I also suffered from candida, parasites, what else? Stomach ulcers, gastritis. My whole solar plexus and sacral chakra, my stomach area was really feeling a lot of inflammation, to the point that just light touching to the skin would hurt. I would be eating foods and it was really, really painful. So I looked into intermittent fasting. That's actually how I got into juice fasting. And there's a lot of benefits on that. If you'd like me to do a video on that, I can share, and just my protocol with intermittent fasting, how I do it and what the process is. Let me know in the comments. So I started doing juice cleanses, and what I did was a 3-day juice cleanse. It was very difficult because my conditioning of thinking I needed to eat at certain times of the day and needing to, you know, have snacks all the time. It's a mind process. I'm going to say any fast, any process that you do, anything that you do different for your body, it's all a mind game. It's all about the programming and the stories that we have around our body and what we put into our body. So during this period of time, the first day I noticed that my skin was still quite sore. But by the third day, my stomach completely reduced, and I noticed that the touching of my upper solar plexus, my upper right side of my stomach, it wasn't in pain anymore, just after 3 days of doing it. Now, obviously I started to integrate the food, and that was a big learning curve for me, is knowing that once you fast, it's understanding to get to know your body again. So I started to remove things that brought a lot of inflammation, such as high oil, fat foods, such as, processed foods. I started to really go deep into learning more about what foods would support and heal my body. So for example, watermelon. I'm not really a big watermelon person, to be honest, but it has been a great plant and a great fruit that has really supported me. And when I looked it up, it actually is amazing for ulcers. So that was a way that I integrated the lesson I learned through the juice cleanse and the 3-day juice cleanse, and the benefit I received was reduced inflammation. And after the juice fast, I noticed that my stomach wasn't hurting as much. Now, I would just maintain it. So in all, we're not perfect. There are times where, I want to eat pizza and all the things that I know are going to bring that inflammation. But then that was just a process of me creating boundaries with myself and understanding, what does that ulcer mean to me? Why is it happening in my body? And that's all on a whole healing level, right? When we have diseases or elements, we want to know like what's behind it. Why is this happening? What is causing it? The second thing and the benefit about a 3-day juice cleanse or any juice cleanse is deepening your meditation practice. So a lot of the times I find when we're not putting energetic or good foods into our body, or when we are constantly stressed, for example, with work or working a lot, we're going through a lot of change, our body's kind of like, and we find ourselves having a hard time to be present. So one of the biggest things that have really helped me with not only cleansing myself was meditation. And I do this every morning, I do it every night, but I started to notice before the juice cleanse that I was not even doing my morning routine. I wasn't motivated, I didn't feel called, and that's usually a sign that I need to reset. I need to like come back to myself, I need to go back to my practice. And I noticed that it was easier for me to go deep into meditation. I can meditate longer. I was able to go into a deep state of relaxation, and my nervous system was fully relaxed. My breath was no longer short. There were deeper breaths. I wasn't having short breaths. Being in the sympathetic system, which is your fight or flight, breathing in and out through the mouth, I was breathing in through the nose. I was allowing myself to regulate myself. And I even noticed throughout my day during work, my meditation practice really helped me after the juice cleanse, because I wasn't constantly reactive. I wasn't constantly on high alert at work. I wasn't on that fight or flight. So it really basically eliminated my fight or flight. And it also got me to understand why I was in fight or flight. What were the things and the stresses I was taking on in my life? And I think having the juice cleanse where you don't have any distractions of chips and ice cream and food, or just constantly doing, right? We're eating, we're doing those things. And it really allowed me to come back to myself. The third thing and the third benefit of the juice cleanse and this 3-day juice cleanse that I did was historically, like I said, we're not meant to have 3 meals a day. I remember my grandmother saying that, you wake up at 4:30 in the morning, and my background's Caribbean, so they would go down to the ocean, they would get the crabs, and they would make a one pot, and that would be their meal. Like that would just fuel them. And I come from a family of farmers and gardeners, and that space, like where they used to work, they would eat these massive meals to bring them out through the day. And I do believe that because today so much of our food is processed, so much of it has so much synthetics in it, and it's even harder for us to eat healthier. Like I was talking about someone the other day, and I said that, we were saying that instead of calling it fast food, why do we call fast food? And why is it that fast food is cheaper, and shouldn't it be the opposite? Yeah, shouldn't it be like to really encourage people to eat healthier, that fast food should be more expensive? Why is the healthy food in our life more expensive? It's just so interesting, our programming, right? We're taught that, to get things fast, to eat those fast foods, the programming, the wording, right? And it just brings us away from eating natural foods, right? And if we are able to eat natural foods, which in the juice fast, it was so great because people think that you're going to be really tired, you won't have any energy. Right now I feel so clear. I feel so energized. I feel so calm. And I've been fasting for over 72 hours, right? So when we can connect with whole foods, and this comes in a spiritual aspect as well, right? Energetically, if we think about it, right? When you are born, you are this essence of this light being in the sacral chakra, right? And in this essence, you are fully whole. You are fully yourself. You are fully your being. And as you are brought into this earth life to connect with wholeness as well. But then we go through our experiences, our traumas, our memories, our programming from our family, our parents, and we kind of forget this beautiful power of our body and our DNA. And this brings me to the next part is fasting, and specifically here, juice fasting too. It helps us connect us more to our light bodies, which is important for us to get back to our blueprint and our DNA. What I mean by that is when you are in the process of fasting, your body is then going to everything within its body, the toxins, the fat cells, the the cysts that you may have, the ulcer, whatever your intention is for the juice fast, and it's going in there and it's literally allowing it to breathe and heal. It's like if you have a cut and you were to go swimming every single day for hours on end, you wouldn't allow the cut wouldn't heal, right? Because there's so much water, like it's not getting air, it's not getting a spaciousness to breathe. So one of the biggest things I always share is during the fasting and during the juice cleanse is that you are able to come back to retrain your body to heal itself, right? To go to, the diseases, to understand about the blood pressures and the low blood pressure, the high blood pressure, whatever that you are trying to heal naturally. And it is shown through many articles scientifically, but also energetically and spiritually, that if we do fast, we are able to regulate and to remove the toxins that are preventing us from connecting to our power of our highest template and our DNA, right? And that's one of the biggest things. I've noticed that my gifts have opened up more. I've noticed that my energy has peaked up. My kundalini has opened up so much. Like, I just feel so energized. I feel like just so open and aware and alert, but not alert like I'm on fight or flight. Alert, just awareness of my surroundings. I'm more present. And I think in today's world where we're constantly being there's propaganda everywhere to make you question what you eat, what you look like, who you are, all the things. And when juice fasting is you sitting for those 3 days and really sitting with what parts of you are inside of you that you think you've had to take on, or parts of you that aren't your true self, that aren't your true template, who you are, your truth. And as I sat with my 3 clients, something that came up for me was understanding, I grew up being forced to always eat. Culturally, you would sit and they're like, oh, eat more food. And it was always a judgment. It's either you're eating too much or eating too little. It's never that you're eating enough, right? There was always a judgment. And whenever I do a juice cleanse, I always have to reprogram this aspect that, like, number one, I don't have to people please people to eat food. I have my boundaries and it's okay to say no, right? And to go into that power of no. So my yes could also be assertive. The second thing that I really learned from this juice cleanse as well, and I learned every time I have a juice cleanse, is understanding that, too little as well. I also suffered and experienced body dysmorphia in the past, in my high school years. And it was really difficult. It was interesting because for me, body dysmorphia developed because I remember when I was a little girl, I went to my mom's bathroom and she would shower. Kids, you go in you never get your private bathroom time. So I would go in and my mom would be getting ready for work. She'd be putting her makeup on and dressing, and would be chatting and talking. And, she would drop me off to school sometimes. And the way she would talk about herself, I really noticed there was almost this insecurity about the body. And I thought she was the most beautiful person ever. I just thought she was so beautiful. And what I recognized through this juice cleanse, through reconnecting to my original DNA, my template, was to clear that trauma of women in my lineage thinking that we're not skinny enough. We don't have bigger chest enough. We don't have enough curves. We're not, you know, light skin enough. We're not, like, whatever that rhetoric was. I was able to really go into that, meditate with it and sit with it and have compassion for myself and really sit and say, wait a minute, no, you are beautiful. You are this divine being. You are this beautiful being. And to really sit with this becoming of myself, to come back to that wholeness, to come back to not feeling like I needed something else outside of myself. And that's what I love about fasting, because, you know, we have so many ways to avoid and to constantly take things in, and that are coming from a sense of lack of self-worth and lack of self-confidence, whether it's, you know, buying more clothes to feel prettier, or whether it is, like, you know, going to the next fad of weight loss. You know, a lot of people do juice cleanses, and I am guilty for that in the past before I got into my path of healing, to want to do it for weight loss. Like, that was my intention, was weight loss, weight loss, weight loss. And it was more, and there's nothing wrong with that aspect. I'm not judging that, but the part that comes up was I was doing it for weight loss to look a certain way. That was told to me I had to look that way. And, you know, again, when we start to work with our energies of our body, really clearing our toxins, we feel lighter. We're not taking on the world on ourselves, and we are able to integrate this juice cleanse, because this isn't something I would suggest you doing all the time, right? I don't want you to get addicted to it. It's not something to be addicted to, or to replace whatever your healing is with juice fasting and just thinking that you have to do this thing, right? It's a tool. It's to support you in your healing, and it's being intuitive and knowing when you need to clear toxins physically, emotionally, spiritually, energetically, on all layers. The next benefit of a 3-day cleanse, juice cleanse, or any juice cleanse, is that manifesting and connecting with plant allies. So this is one of the biggest things I learned when I went and worked with the Shipibu and did a dieta. And what a dieta is when you are sitting for about a week to 2 weeks, sometimes longer, and you're connecting with a plant for physical healing. And during this time, what they believe is fasting is a really big portion of that. It's bringing you to solitude, it's quieting the mind, it's removing the stories that we have around ourselves, and really coming back to healing. And through that, you're also connecting with the spirit of the plant. You're connecting with the elements of the plant to help and support you heal. So through that, I've been able to work with beautiful plants and herbs as well. So I've actually been having tea in the morning, as well as bitters, which I don't think I have on my desk. Yeah, I do. As well as bitters. So I am using these bitters, which I really love. This is something that I always travel with, but it's also great for juice cleanse. And this one is by Anima Mundi Apothecary. I love their stuff. And it's called the 𝐥𝐢𝐤𝐞, which is for gas, bloating, and relief. So I put a few drops of this on my tongue in the morning with my warm water or tea, and it really helps just alleviate any pain from the stomach, any pain from just cleansing. It brings more, you know, bitters help with more bile, so to clear out the intestinal tract and to clear out the stomach. It also helps with the liver, the kidney, the gallbladder. So it's just a really great support. And what I love about bitters as well, digestive bitters, is that on an energetic level, when you are having bitters, it helps you cleanse your mind and your body, and you're processing so much, right? Like, you're processing everything in every way that you use food as a way to digest or to void or to suppress an emotion or a thought or a programming or a shadow or a healing. So what bitters do is it helps you digest that energetically, emotionally, and physically. And that is very, very supportive. So I really love having bitters. I usually use my bitters maybe 2 to 3 times a day. And it just really helped me, especially on that second day where I felt the bloating and the gas and I was really in that cleansing phase. It really, really helped. The next benefit of juice cleansing is increasing your circulation in the body. So if you're someone who tends to be really cold in the fingers or the toes, or really hard to bring circulation, or maybe you have a lower metabolism, I found that after doing a juice cleanse, my metabolism would increase because my energy levels are increased, my life force energy levels are increased. So it's a great way to increase circulation. It's a great way to increase the metabolism because it's going into the older fat cells. It's going into the older toxins in the body right from when you were born, right from your 6-year-old self, right from your 12-year-old self, your 16-year-old self. It's going to all those toxins. Think about all the things you've put into your body, whether it is consuming it, being around it, the heavy metals that we breathe in cities, which is like in the air we breathe, the foods we eat. I have a few recipes I love to use for heavy metals, which is really great. If you'd like me to share that, I can share my heavy metal detox with you. But these are ways that I keep my energy and allow myself, especially as someone who is a medicine facilitator, guide, and also help other people heal. It's really important for me to take care of this body and to make sure that my circulation is good. It also helps clean the blood. So fasting, juice cleansing, one of the biggest benefits is it cleans the blood. So if you have any diseases or elements that are within the blood, fasting is a really great way to heal it. It can actually re-cleanse it and remove the toxic cells that are may be attacking the body or reducing the body's immune system, and it will support it. It will also help with more circulation. So if you're someone who has severe blood clots and pain, this is very supportive for you. The other benefit with juice cleansing, with a 3-day cleanse that I've received as well, is stepping into your power again. How many times do we hit 6-7 o'clock p.m.? Be honest, we've all been there, and automatically we reach for the chips, we reach for the candy, we reach for the ice cream, we reach for the pizza, we reach for the app on Uber Eats. Let me know down below with a thumbs up emoji if you do and what your cravings are. I notice for me, when I really have done everything, I've done my teas, I've done trying to eat healthy and that's not working, I'm trying to go to the gym, I'm doing different ways to get my body to move these toxins and nothing's working, I come to my juice cleanse. Automatically that first day, the first 12 hours, you're questioning it. You want to eat, you have all the cravings, but then when you surpass that, that's when I usually bring the bitters. It really helps with the food cravings as well. Again, you don't want to abuse the bitters. It's just putting a little bit of a couple drops on the tongue really helps. And it's stepping into your power again. So asking yourself with this juice cleanse, how do you give away your power to food? And how do you give away your power to people, to relationships, to anything, right? And knowing that our power is within all of us. You are a powerful person. And after the juice cleanse, I feel like there's so much power in myself that I don't question my inner power that I have, right? I don't seek it outside of myself. So if you are feeling that maybe you're going into oily foods or sugars, or everyone has their craving that they go to that suppresses this need, that suppresses this feeling that we don't have that significance within us. And in our DNA template is written that we do have that power in ourselves. So yeah, I just want to share that with you, that the benefit with the juice cleanse was being able to really step into my power and step into myself, really honoring that I'm not going to give away my power of sugar because I feel lonely. I'm not going to give away my power of ice cream because I feel like I have had a long day. You know, how many of people will say at the end of the day, I'm gonna have a glass of wine on a Friday night, right? Cut off the edge. Why? What's behind that? There's a difference between having a glass of wine when you're just solely just being intentional with it and you know you don't need it, right? You don't need it to have fun and hang out with people socially. And I think this was the biggest programming with me, having an experience where I was running away from myself and my traumas, and adding this juice cleanse, adding a 3-day juice cleanse. One of the biggest benefits was being able to eliminate those toxins, but also allow myself to come back to me. And it is such a great feeling. You have to sit with yourself. You have to take care of you, because that's your biggest mission here, is to take care of you through the education of this earth world here in this life, right? And this brings me to the next point of benefit, which is clears toxins in the blood and preventative for diseases. So as I mentioned, like it is so supportive. It is so supportive for people who have diabetes, people who have high blood pressure, people with cancer, to reduce the cancer cells. There are so much. When I work with people, I've seen people who've had allergies done fasting and the inflammation has reduced and they're not allergic to things anymore. I've seen people who have cancer cells or pre-cancer cells and start to do fasting or juice fasting and cleansing, and they notice that their body fully shifts. It's like their body is learning to create the insulin. Their body is learning to clear and cleanse that out. And the results are crazy. Like even their own physicians are like, what are you doing? It's the fasting, it's the plants, because nature is our medicine. And the beautiful thing is you're drinking these whole foods in a juice form, receiving their medicine and healing. And it's really just charging your full body, cleansing your chakras, cleansing your whole being. And the last part is emotional detox. So one of the biggest things I feel like is, what are our attachments in our life? And I do feel like a juice cleanse is very powerful for our heart, all our chakras, but it really cleanses the heart as well. And one of the biggest things is all of our emotional attachments go to the heart chakra, the heart area. So one of your intentions might be, if you feel like you're really moving through an attachment, maybe a codependent relationship, or an attachment to moving between two worlds of an old job to a new job, or feeling lack of clarity, like I just don't know what's next, or needing to make a decision. Like one of my intentions for this juice cleanse was decision making. I'm letting myself be in a neutral space so I can make the decisions I need to support me and my highest good. So emotional detox, what are the emotions that you want to let go and release through that? You know, crying may be normal, as well as anger may arise. You may feel like these waves of emotions, and these are all coming from the toxins. And I always say our body keeps count. Our body tells the story, right? These diseases, these elements, the areas, each part of our body has memory. And when we're doing a juice cleanse, we're allowing those memories to be processed, because we can't fully process it. If a trauma or an experience happens and we never go to it, it lives within us. It never leaves. It stays there. That's why we have ancestral healing. That's why we have generational healing. And that's why juice cleansing can be so powerful, beyond just losing weight and, you know, looking good, right? It's more than that. You are actually like healing the internal essence of your being. And that's been so powerful for me. So I want to share a little bit more about my protocol if you are inspired. I sense that maybe some of you might be curious. Again, I am not a doctor. I am just sharing from experience, from myself. And what I usually do is I drink about 5 to 8 glasses of juice, big glasses of juice a day, sometimes more. I drink a lot of water. So for me, my water intake comes from my teas. I also incorporate tea, and optional, sometimes I put in cacao, ceremonial cacao, for healing and work with that medicine. Now, it all depends on you, but I would highly suggest listening to your body. I also add the bitters that I shared with you. That's really great to use in the morning, and also whenever you have cravings. I've been sitting with bitters less since the day 2, because I find the first day is really just like telling your body, we are doing a juice cleanse. The second day is like starting to really go deep into that cleanse. And then the third day is really where you are cleansing, and like your energy starts to peak up, the headaches go away, you feel a little bit better, and that's really good. And sometimes what I like to do, which I'm doing today, I'm not sure if I want to continue. Maybe I'll do more than 3 days, because I'm noticing that I'm cleansing a lot and it feels really good. And I'm just going to listen intuitively what feels good to me and what helps me. I also want to share a little bit more about the benefits on a spiritual level for juicing, and it's really helped me. So one of the biggest spiritual aspects of it is vivid dreams. For those of you who might not dream, or maybe for those of you who are, you know, want to connect more with your dreams, and I do believe like dreams are teachers for us. It tells us things about our subconscious, and they're lessons, right? Not focusing if your dream has your ex and how you need to call them, blah, blah, blah. It's more about like focusing on what was the lesson, what was the feeling I received, and writing that down, journaling it down, because that is a process of releasing toxins from the physical body and your energetic body as well. It helps the nervous system. So a lot of the times we're in this workaholic fight or flight space, this fawn space. And what this benefit of the 3-day juice cleanse or any juice cleanse or fasting can support you with is understanding that your nervous system can come back to regulation, to the natural regulation. So a great sign of maybe you feeling called to do a juice cleanse is you're doing a lot of in-mouth breathing, inhaling and exhaling through the mouth. Your breaths are really short. You're not breathing, you're holding your breath at times, you're not noticing it. Maybe this is a sign that your nervous system is not regulated. This is why I'm such a big advocate for breath work and why breath work is so supportive for people and why I would suggest it for you as well. So it's super powerful for that. It also allows you to implement boundaries. This was probably one of the biggest things for me. I was invited to a social gathering, of course, right when I started my juice cleanse test, right? And, you know, I was like, should I go? Should I not go? And I felt that the toxins and the emotional release I was receiving, it was very important for me to be in solitude. As much as I wanted to distract myself and then maybe have all these temptations, I just knew that that was a test for me, is how devoted I am to my healing. And I always tell people that when we decide to heal our bodies and we heal our soul, our spirit, our being, it starts the moment we consciously decide or we subconsciously decide. I say the same thing when people apply to my retreats. They're like, oh, Shika, all these things are happening. And I'm like, yeah, it starts right before you even attend here and you come to here physically. Yeah, I just wanted to share that. And another great benefit is the Kundalini activation life force energy. So the juices definitely support you, especially if you're working with a lot of orange, like carrot juice or orange juice. It really helps with the sacral chakra and cleansing. So for me, I worked a lot with that to cleanse my sacral because I know that is the space that I'm meant to really heal. And it's also a place where when my energies are off balance, that is where I store toxins usually. So ask yourself, just doing a scan in your body right now, maybe you want to take a little present breath. When you are in a space where you're not balanced, what does your body feel like? Where are the areas of your body that hold onto these toxins? For some people, they get a lot of digestive issues. They have a lot of asthma. Maybe they have a lot of ear issues like ear infections or foot swelling. Like, what are the things that come up when you are at your highest fight or flight? When there's a lot of things where your nervous system isn't regulated. So for me, Kundalini was able to activate that. And what Kundalini and life force energy is giving you energy all the time, right? This is allowing yourself to tap into your internal prana, which you have in your DNA. So it's allowing you to override these temptations and these cravings of food. And you are now being able to receive the sun light energy from the fruits, from the food, from the fasting, right? You can also, if you decide to do a water fast, which I'd love to do a video on that if you'd like me to share a video on that, but I'm going to just share this. But for example, with a water fast, a lot of people who do water fasts, they can receive that through the sunlight. So getting a lot of sun energy and going out in the sun can be a great way to subside the, the cravings. So you can really receive that in sun gazing as well. The other part is to ensure that you are tuning into your people-pleasing mechanism. So again, we're looking at, how do I please people outside of myself? How do I feel like I need to make sure people are happy and I don't have a no, right? And I think this is a big thing. And this is also with ourselves. Maybe the people pleasing is with ourselves, that we need to please the parts of our shadow that doesn't feel like we have everything we need. So the benefit of the juice cleanse can really support that with your healing, with your journey, with all of that. And I can't stress enough, it is something that we all have access to, and I would highly, highly suggest you incorporating it into your life is juice cleansing, doing a juice cleanse. And as far as how often to do it, how often I usually do it, I do juice cleanses probably every, I say 4 months. At the beginning though, I was doing it more regularly. So I was doing it every month or so. I would do a juice cleanse. Sometimes it would be for a day. Sometimes it would be for 3 days. I will say the 3 days is so powerful because the first day is really just like the beginning. The second day is your deepest cleanse and releasing. Your toxins start to release in the second day. The third day, you start to move. Your blood levels and your sugar levels start to balance. And at this point, you are at a state of a nervous system, and you're going into a natural state of your DNA, of your blueprint. And at this point, your energy levels are higher. So just really tuning into yourself. I would suggest a 3-day, but I know for some people, maybe doing a 1-day something, or maybe you start to do a 3-day, and on the second day that comes up and the cravings come in and you're like, oh, I want to eat. And that's a lesson, right? What allows you to lean into that and not to commit to the inner essence of our healing, right? This programming, it's a practice. Getting comfortable with failure. I think we need to understand that this is one of the biggest things that juice cleanses have taught me, is that it's a practice. And we can't just expect us to do a 3-day juice cleanse and it'll be perfect, right? It's bringing up things, and we have to have compassion for ourselves through the process. You know, we get up, we start again. And there's been a couple juice cleanses in my journeys where I would start and then the temptations would come and the sadness or the anger would come, and I would want to eat my feelings instead of sitting with it and processing it and drinking the juices and being in that space. So understand, you know, what comes up, and maybe journaling and tuning into that and seeing what shadows want to come up through this healing for you. That is ultimately the biggest benefit of the juice cleanse, is again, allowing yourself to come back to yourself and to come back to balance, harmonizing back to self, healing the physical body. And through that, we're healing our spirit, we're healing our soul, we're healing our light body. So these are the biggest things I will share. If you'd like me to do another video, or maybe actually what would be more supportive for you, is let me know in the comments what questions you have around juice fasting, or fasting in general. Maybe I can do another video for you, but I hope that this video is able to support you. I think I did a video way back on juice fasting, way back a few years ago. But I feel like this video really goes deeper into the benefits of the 3-day juice cleanse and just my relation with it after doing it for some time. So yeah, let me know down below in the comments, any questions. What was your biggest takeaway? Have you done a juice cleanse before? And how was your experience? Or maybe what are, you know, the apprehensions or the resistance that you're feeling in the body as you receive and connect with the juice cleanse? And I would love for you to share, like, subscribe, and share with your family if this feels good to you. And if you feel called to heal with plants, or also to heal with medicines, and maybe even experience a dieta experience with medicines, highly go to my website and check out our upcoming retreats, healings, and also apply to one-on-ones and other programs as well. So I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'm wishing you all the best on your juice cleanse experience and this relationship and this healing journey for you.